Hello, this is my first sort of video on YouTube where I share my thoughts. I've been meaning to do this for some time, but I'm not used to making videos talking to a camera. Um, so if this is a little bit iffy, then forgive me. This is my first video, but I think it's important that I share my thoughts because these are sort of the thoughts that are important to me. Now, I'm a Christian. I believe in God. But I also love science, and I'm amazed of how the world works around us. I've always been interested in science since I was a young boy, from knowing the planets in our solar system, and always having books about biology and how the human body works and things like that. So this natural interest has always been there in me. As I've got older, I became quite interested in the Christian faith and other religions, but in the end I stuck to Christianity. This is mixed with troubled times in my life as well. But going back to this story of why I'm making this video, my first video, yes, so a lot of my friends and so on have said to me, how can you be a Christian and believe in science? They go against each other. And this, from my opinion, cannot be further from the truth. Let's start with the scientific aspect of the universe and knowing about the nature around us. Let's start with the universe. It's those of you who have an interest in science, like I do, know that it's it's generally agreed amongst the scientific community that the Big Bang happened, and time, space, and matter appeared from a singularity, what we call the singularity, the moment in just before the Big Bang, where everything came from. Followed that with Einstein's theory of relativity, great work by scientists who are living today like Stephen Hawking, and his work with black holes. There is a general understanding that the universe is expanding, and you wind the clock back and it comes from one point, and then they've had recent work with the radiation background sort of discovery. So from that point of view, from a scientific point of view, the universe has a beginning, which aligns with someone who believes in God. So that's just one point. Staying with the universe, there are some people who say, well, there could be a multiverse. It's not generally agreed amongst all the scientific community. There are pockets of the scientific community who agree with the multiverse, but it's not an empirical knowledge within the scientific community that the multiverse exists. I think there's something called string theory that is trying to tie in modern day physics with a theory of a multiverse, but it's still not developed. And then there's problems with the multiverse. It's how did the multiverse get there, which has its own problems. Another friend of mine said, when I've had these debates, they've said, well, energy never goes away. It just, you never lose energy. It changes. So if you burn a paper, the energy in the paper becomes oxygen, and obviously the paper's burning away, but the smoke from the paper isn't gone. It's just become a different. It's gone from a solid to a gas, and that's been proven as well in science. So that's true. Energy never goes away, but that doesn't mean energy never had an origin. And that's a massive jump, a leap of faith to say, So there's, from a scientific point of view, when someone says, oh, my faith does not fit with science, well, clearly, if you look at science and the empirical truths in science, believing in God is actually quite logical. That's one aspect of my faith in terms of how the universe got here. Second part is just the amazing beauty of nature. And maybe I'm going to make some more videos and go into the beauty of nature and also the coincidences of, especially us, our galaxy, our solar system, our planet Earth. I think I'll start you with a sort of an introduction of how special we are in this universe. It's been said that, you know, the planet Earth is the right distance from the sun, and that's why, you know, it's in that Goldilocks area for life to happen. And it's got water, and it's a good size, and the size of the sun is a good size as well. The size of our sun is a good size for life. So it's been said that the universe is so big, and there must be other life out there. But if you look at the things needed for life on planet Earth, and I've looked at it from an unbiased point of view, there's actually more needed for life on Earth, at least, to happen. So we have something called organic life on this Earth, and the way carbon reacts with other molecules has to be such a way. You know, carbon is bonds with a lot of things, and it makes molecules build easy, and that's scientifically we know that's what helps life become on Earth, is carbon links with other materials very easily, or makes molecules very easily. So that being said, it's no surprise that all life is carbon based, and that's where you get the term carbon life form or organic life form from. So all life on Earth is carbon. Okay. That's proponents of saying that, you know, life isn't so special would say, well, you know, life on other planets doesn't have to be carbon. So there isn't a counter argument. But that being said, it is quite a coincidence that, you know, we have carbon in abundance on planet Earth, and that happens to be the right element to build life with. So that's just one little snippet, and so it's not just the planet Earth being the right distance from the sun. Carbon has to be involved there somewhere, and the speciality of carbon. Also, the amount of water on the Earth is obviously 3/4 of the Earth, give or take, and I figure, you know, humbly, I don't know the official figure, but it's about around that is water, and even inside the Earth, it's considered there's water inside the Earth as well. So a lot of the Earth is water. The atmosphere is very unique, you know. 80% or so nitrogen, and again, not official figures, so forgive me if I've, but around that. Certain percent is oxygen, certain percent is carbon dioxide, and all these little percentages of our atmosphere is actually perfect for life. If it was too much oxygen, it wouldn't be good. You know, if it was too much carbon dioxide, it wouldn't be good. So again, the atmosphere has to be just right. This atmosphere also protects us from the solar flares and the very harmful UV rays from the sun. So not only does the planet have to be the distance from the sun, it has to have in our sense, for life to happen, it has to have carbon, abundance of carbon for it to form. Now it needs to have an atmosphere. Now you come onto our moon, and you're thinking, well, why is the moon important? Well, it's now figured out that the size of our moon actually is very important. The size of the moon. Any moon any smaller, or would actually not. The rotation of Earth wouldn't be controlled, and we would mostly spin too quickly. And an Earth spinning too quickly wouldn't be good for life. And maybe in another video I'll go into depth of why that is. But yeah, it's known that an Earth spinning too quickly wouldn't be good for life. On the same note, if our moon was too big, we would have too much. You know, the waves in our seas would be too violent. the weather would be chaotic, and again, it'll be very hard for life to at least intelligent life to develop on a world like that. There's actually the Earth is actually tilted. Okay, so our Earth is actually on its axis, and it's now known that by the Earth being on its axis, we have controlled seasons. We have summer, winter, autumn, and spring, and it's actually known that these seasons actually again help life, and the the development of life, if you will. So and like you say, there's actually more than these things I'm mentioning. There's actually quite a number of things that we need specifically right on planet Earth for life to happen. So not only when we see these other planets with a star next to them and it's sort of the same distance, there's all these other factors that have to happen. So there was a theory that what was the chances of life, what would be the chances of life on other planets, and I think when it was worked out originally, it was actually considered quite probability. There was quite probable that life would exist, but there's been a rethink quite recently in the scientific community, and actually the Earth is actually maybe unique in the universe. And again, I'll go into more details, and I'll maybe source some more videos and more sources of scientific work done that explains why the Earth is unique in that way. So yeah, that's another reason that points towards my faith linking with my scientific opinions. It's easy to have a biased. We're us humans, we have biased opinions, but looking at it from a purely unbiased point of view, the scientific research that's been done and scientific knowledge has been done isn't always necessarily pointing towards a world where God doesn't exist. So I just wanted to share those thoughts with you for now. This is my first video. I think my next video will be going on to DNA, and how DNA is very, very important, and very sort of, there's an enigma with DNA as well. So this is my first video. I might have to brush up my skills on my presentation skills. But yeah, I've got an interest in science. I'm a Christian. And maybe, I know I always comment on videos when I see atheists say things and so on and so on. And it's done in a humble manner. It's done in a polite manner. We all have an opinion. I believe in a unified world. I don't believe in a divisive world. We can share our opinions, but we don't have to be obnoxious, be impolite with each other. So if you're an atheist watching this video, respect. I'd love to debate more. If you're a Christian, if you're a Muslim, if you're a Hindu, respect. One love. But I need, my next video will be about more about DNA and biology and how that fits in with believing in God, and does Darwinism, is there so much proof for Darwinism? Is there so much proof for a created life? So that's my next video. Peace.